Hello, the blessed one, and welcome to Occupy on Earth. If you're new here, I am happy you found your way here. This is the place where faith meets purpose, creativity meets calling, and your life aligns with God's will. If you're, coming back here again for the fourth episode, I am glad, happy, excited, honored that you're here again. You know, Please like, subscribe, leave a comment, two or more, share to your loved ones, to everybody that you know that you think that it will bless, or if you know that it has blessed you, share to every person. Tell someone to tell someone to tell someone. Spread the gospel, right? So yeah, thank you. I am Perekabina. I am honored, super honored to have you on this journey of faith, growth, and divine occupation. And today, here, I have Lawyer Sam.
Thank you very much for having me here, Perekabina. And it's great to be here as well, guys. Thanks for joining in. It's good to have you guys here, and I hope you enjoyed this session as well.
So yeah, Sam, did I send a memo or what did you get? Why we twinning?
I mean, guys, occupy on Earth. The Earth is green. I'm just merely working on that. So after
That's
one
very
degree,
good. That's very good.
occupy
That's
on
very
Earth.
good. That's actually very good.
Yeah, thank
I
you.
was shocked when I'm like, when did I send in a memo?
Uh,
Well, Sam got here, and I'm happy that you're here. So yeah, Sam, please introduce yourself.
ah, what I've been waiting for. But yeah, I am Samuel Abu. I'm a lawyer. I'm also a tech enthusiast. So essentially, I'm a tech lawyer, if you could call it that. And I also did write at some point. So I'll call myself a budding creative writer. A one-time spoken word artist. I like this one time because it was the phase of my life. I enjoyed it. It was good. Yeah, but I think I'll just stick to writing for now. And of course, someone who is quite enterprising. I like business. A little, not too much, but you get that part just right there, the spark. So yeah, that's me. That's
I don't say Sam does like it's fine. I like it, right? But writing, I didn't know about that.
wow.
I didn't really know.
So interestingly, when I was at my undergrad, I think third year, I wrote a dystopian thriller that was set in Unilag, right? And I forwarded it to the editor in chief then. If you guys are attending Unilag, bro, you probably know about LSS, Lost Land Blood. It should still be there, I guess. All right, and it was set in Unilag in Lagos, end of the world kind of thing. It was quite interesting, because that whole mix of romance in there, and then one guy trying to save one babe, and that kind of thing, sha. But it was good, and I really loved it. I was like, oh, I can do this. It will be fun. And then the next time I went into Okada Books when they were still having
Oh,
their different free version of digital publishing. So I think that was good. So I wrote some. Yeah, I think I wrote two fictional writing that, and that was more action and thriller as well. The whole fight scenes and stuff like that. But yeah, that's the part for creative writing. I should get back to it.
you should.
At
You
some
should.
point.
Actually, you should. I want to read some of your pieces. Like, just
Sorry, I know it's cutting. There was particular one I wrote. So a friend of mine called me and she was like, she wanted to try to tender a project, just work on a creative project and stuff. And she was like, I should write a story around romance and around friendship. And I personally love this story a lot because it was just about three friends, and I sort of did this whole not time travel, but perspective as to time. So I'll be like Tunde, 7 p.m. on Friday, then maybe Tola, 7 p.m. on Friday, and then maybe Tokwe. So it sort of like shows like this. So
their own
concurrent
okay.
live,
Yeah.
and then they meet at some point. I'll find that and probably get across you to read. It was wonderful.
Wow.
This was great. When I sent it to her, she was like, "Oh my god, this is a wonderful story." Da 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 da. Yeah, but it wasn't published anyway. I don't know.
What?
I don't know.
I mean, I wanted to say, send me something. Let me request. Like, I only knew what part of Sam.
It was
The lawyer part of Sam, business part of Sam.
Yeah, yeah. I
And the
think
God part of Sam, I mean, we are in church together. So that's but I
yeah,
always knew that Sam was interesting because like how is that not interesting?
yeah. I mean,
Interesting and mysterious because it's like I
ooh,
thought I
serious.
yeah, like I mean, now you are writing. I didn't know about that.
Ah,
Oh, you are a writer.
yeah. Once in a while, I do drop some things on Medium. Okay, I think I'll share you the Medium link.
Yeah,
I'll share you Medium link.
please, you do need to.
I'll share you the
But
Medium link.
but
There
today we
is.
do have the Sam lawyer and the Sam business. So we collect you as you come.
No
Yes,
wahala.
that's what we're gonna do. So Sam, please can you tell us how you got into law?
How I got into law. Sorry, I keep saying because when I get these questions, I'm like, ooh, this is an interesting part I've not actually shared so much about with
Okay.
Bena just yet. But like, okay, this is one interesting part. So I think my life is interesting, but I don't share stories that much.
That's
How I
why you're
got
here.
into law, I'm gonna track back and we're gonna go way back in time. Oh yes, initially I thought I wanted to be a pilot. But fun fact, if I'd been a pilot, if I'd applied to actually be a pilot, I don't think I would have been able to actually pilot a plane. You know why? Because fast forward some 10 years down the line, because from junior school, secondary school, university, then law school. Law school preparation, registration, and whatnot. So I had to do some medical check. And I go to the hospital for the eye check. And follow me surprised when they told me they gave me a booklet. You're up to something here. No, you gave me a booklet, right? Left hand, right hand. On my left hand, I could see something. On my right hand, I couldn't see anything. So when I told the optometrist, she was like, "Am I sure?" I said yes. She's like, "Am I really sure?" I said yes. She burst out into laughter. She was like, "Apologies." Then she ran to some of her colleagues in the other room. Said one thing. She came back, called me, and went to the room. So for me, I'm still shocked that
What's going
what's
on?
going on? Like, it's just a booklet. I see on the left, I do see it on the right. And they asked me, "Hey, so Alpha, they gave me the booklet again." I'm like, "Yeah, I can see something on the left." They were like, "Hmm? How about the right?" I said, "I can't." And they were bewildered. They were like, "How? I mean, no, are you for?" And I'm like,
What's
"Yes,
going
what's
on?
going on?" Actually, it was a depth thing. So they started asking that, "Oh, wait, do you drive?" I'm like, "Yes, I drive." And she was like, "Hmm." But I said at some point, they were like, "Oh, so," they were like, "It's a depth perception thing, right?"
Oh,
Yeah. So, and they were like, "Oh, there are some jobs you wouldn't have done." No, I was like, "Oh, I wanted to be a pilot." They were like, "They won't even allow you to fly a plane."
you see that career wouldn't have been taken off.
They're like,
It will
"Bro,
just it,
take
oh
it
my
easy."
one terminal. It will just be in the terminal. Kuni.
But I mean, I feel like now times have changed. You'll probably find a way around it. Some pilots probably wearing glasses, who knows? But if your pilots wear glasses, who to try it?
Oh, my client is wearing
Why
glasses.
is your pilots wearing
Excuse me,
glasses?
sir. If they remove the glasses, am I
They can
sure?
work. Yeah, come on. I mean, I'm not saying I'm an authority on this, yeah, but I've actually not seen pilots putting on glasses. I may be wrong.
Yeah, we may be
And
wrong.
please, I'm not talking about movies. I'm talking about
Yeah,
real life.
real life.
And not aviator glasses. I mean recommended aviator. I don't think
As
I've
in, say
seen
you didn't.
I don't think I've
Your
seen pilots
idol.
with recommended
I
glasses
don't know too,
because
sure.
they need to have that depth perception. How did
I
you get
don't
to
know.
pilot?
How did you get there?
Okay, I've
You
left
were
there.
from
I've,
law for
from law
law
to
to
yeah.
yeah. You
Okay,
were going
yeah. So
to. Let's go back.
I'm back on track.
Yeah. Yes, we are back.
I'm back on track. So yeah, let's be a pilot. Okay, the reason why I started that was even if I'd done
Yeah,
it
if you
might
had
not
done
actually
that.
have worked out that
Yeah.
way. But once in a while, I just reminisce the fact that people call me Captain Sam, and I just go, "Shh, this is Captain Sam speaking." Shh, 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 brush. You know the way they do the thing now.
This is not speaking in tongues
Shh, shh.
sound.
But come on, you know how those guys sound. Like it's not so clear.
No. Please let's go to law. My lord, may I?
Shh.
My lord, let's go.
Yeah,
Let's
shh.
go there.
But yeah, I mean, but it'll be cool now. What they do? I'm like, welcome aboard.
Yeah.
This is Captain Sam speaking. Piloting. I'll call name of the plane. Bellevue, not Bellevue. Airbus 7394 en route from Istanbul to Casablanca, right? Weather is at 26 degree.
Your voice is actually very
You
clear.
know
They
what?
can hear you.
I could have
That's
been.
why you can't. That's why you're not
I,
a pilot. Your voice is clear. You
what
don't
do
need to hear
you?
what they
What do
say.
you? No, now it's because of the kind of play now.
Uh,
But you guys, I should go back to it, right? I think I'll go back to aviation
try it.
school.
Try it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Call us when you get in.
At best, they probably use me as a stunt double, but it's not bad. I'm still flying the plane. All
Right.
right, let's just go. Let's
Let's go
actually
back.
go back
Yeah.
now. So I wanted to
Now.
be a pilot, and I was kind of like confused in my junior school.
Yeah.
Yes, and I remembered speaking to my aunt about it. Like, just I said I should pray about it. I'm like,
Mm,
okay, I will. Then an interesting development happened. In my class, then we had a bully. So this guy thinks he's the best thing after. I'm not judging on his.
yeah.
Again, I don't want to judge, but I guess when we're kids, we just do some stupid things. But even that as I then, we some kids knew that some people were stupid, right?
Yeah.
And don't just keep bullying people. It's not cool. So there
Yeah.
was this bully guy, and then there was this other guy in my class was very quiet, reserved, and this bully dude was always picking on him, right?
Yeah.
And got to a point I was fed up. I was like, cut it, like cut this shit. Sorry my French, yeah. But I was like, just stop doing this nonsense.
Yeah.
Stop bullying this boy. It makes no sense. The first time, the second time, the third time, I stood up to him and I told him outrightly, if you have to treat this boy as though he's not human,
Yeah.
I will take it up with you. So my classmates started calling me
The
the
law.
law, the law defender of the of the youth
Oh
and
God.
all. But I think that phase sort of like helped me to pivot correctly into either arts, commercial, or science. So
Mhm.
I just thought, okay, you know what? Let me go into art. Right? There is this flair for
Mhm.
something. Right? For the creative part, there is. So again, just because you're an art student doesn't mean that you don't know any other thing, but there's just this higher level of interest
Mhm.
in other stuff, right? So
Yeah.
I mean, even in arts, I love arts. I go to museums, I
Mhm.
go to galleries,
Mhm.
just like go there and enjoy the arts. I present, and I'll just act like I'm a connoisseur
Yeah.
in the arts world. So yeah.
What law do you do now, and how do you get into that?
So how did I get into law? So the story then continues when you're in secondary school now, in SS, senior secondary school, and of course, I was in literature, and I was really getting interested in the writing,
Yeah.
creative stuff. So it was during those years that I went into spoken words
Mhm.
for a while. It was fun. I just go like, the sky is blue, the sun is yellow. Just spoken words now. It's fun. Actually, it's fun. Right. And then I went into writing. It was on
Yeah.
poetry at some point. Yeah, I do love poetry because it's really easy to. For me, it comes really easy to write. Right. My babe knows this, but I don't know about other people.
Relationship has entered. I'm
You get,
embracing love. Sorry, I
but
know it's the time of love,
yeah, it's
and
it
I'm
is.
trying to embrace love.
Embrace it more. Embrace it more.
I'm trying. Please go on.
Yeah, so she knows how good it was. Just a little pivot. My first poem, I think I had like 8/10. My first ever poem for literature. That was a good score.
I thought you'd be writing a Nicolapo or something for Netflix by now.
That was a pointer. Yeah, I mean, things happen. We get, but we'll get to that, right? And so the story is building up, and at this point, I'm asking myself, what can I do that would sort of amplify or support this area of interest that I'm beginning to enjoy? Do
Mhm.
you get this creative area of interest I'm beginning to
Yeah.
enjoy? And I tell myself, you know what? I'm gonna do law, right? So for me, going into law was an investment into the kind of personality I wanted to be, the kind of character traits I wanted to hold on to or own, right? The kind of professionalism
Mm.
I wanted to build up myself. So I eased into law smoothly.
The kind
Yeah.
of law that you do.
Now for the kind of law that I do, you want to hear the story behind that too? No?
How
You
did you
like
get into it?
So the build up was that I wanted to defend the rights of people, which is great. Yeah. But mind you, I was just someone who is very, very both sort of tech savvy. I used to enjoy if you watch movies a lot, you'll know about counterintelligence and stuff, right? MI6, CIA, those kind of things. I
Yeah.
do enjoy them a lot. So for me, I was really into the whole tech stuff. So right from my first year, I knew I was going to be a tech inclined person, a tech inclined lawyer.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, interestingly. But it didn't really shape up well until my penultimate year. So law is a 5 year course. In the fourth year,
Right.
and I think started like shaping up. And I remember in the fourth year, I already had clear interest into IP, intellectual property, and then maybe privacy. And I remember in my finals, just before I entered into the final year, the Holy Spirit was telling me that, okay, you know what, Sam, let us strategize on what you're going to do your final year. So let your project speak on privacy, compliance, and all of those things. And then you will take a course on intellectual property so that when you're done with school, you sort of like have a proof of knowledge. So it's proof of knowledge, not like you don't know it, but
Mm-hmm.
something to show that you started building up on this skill or on this
Wow.
area. This
You
area.
heard clearly when the Holy Spirit said to
Yeah.
you, wow.
So I just did that, and immediately the form opened up for the IP classes. I applied, started working on it, and even with how hectic my final year first semester was, my grades were awesome, and I still passed the IP class, which
That's,
was wonderful.
yeah, that's
So
pretty amazing.
my project just focused on the whole privacy stuff, right? And from there, it was great. By the time I left school, I was still then building up knowledge base in those areas. So in
Mm.
fact, it was so interesting that I would have some of my colleagues call me and be like, "Oh, Sam, explain X, Y, Z." I'll be on like 4 hours call, 4 hour calls, or 4 hours call with startup guys. I'm like, Sam, explain this. How do you go about this? And you're just talking, talking, talking. Why? Because your build knowledge base
Yeah.
is something that interests you. Something that interests you. I like to share the story of my first gig, but I don't know if I'll share it now.
Yeah. You
Right.
can go ahead.
I can go ahead and share that, yeah.
Yeah.
And for this one, I like it because to give you perspective, when you're done with law school, you go for NYC. And when you're done your law school, the year immediately after your law school, right, is your first year of practice.
Yeah.
So you have first year, you have second year, you have third year. Although some argue that it's the year you finish law school as your first year of practice. Anywho, right? I was on NYC, I was in the firm,
Mm-hmm.
and then I saw an opening, right? It was only because of it was just NYC, it was NYC period. I saw an opening and they were asking for 2 years post score, right? And I always say this story. I mentioned Aaron. You guys might not know him. Some people might know him. He was a classmate. He was a classmate of mine back in school, right? And I know he shared the opening with me, right? And it was 2 years. And the deadline for application was a Friday. I think a Friday 17. Yeah, but it was actually a Friday. I got the application stuff that week. Let's say on
Mm-hmm.
Monday. So I actually just have 1 week, right? And I look at the requirements. I'm like, okay, data privacy. I'm like, yeah, I can do that. IP tech. Oh, yeah, I can do that. These are things I enjoy.
Yeah.
But I saw that they needed 2 years. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
There's no point applying for this, right? So I remember telling Aaron like, let's not apply for this. And he said just one word. It was like, apply. What's the worst that will happen?
No.
No, right? So me, I stalled. I didn't apply for the role until that Friday I told you is the deadline.
Mm-hmm.
That Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And it's that Friday, 6 p.m. that Friday is deadline. So I'm at work at my previous place and I'm like, okay, let's even apply for this thing.
Mm-hmm.
So as at 5:30, I'm still contemplating. Right? I have my CV done, I have everything. I'm contemplating now. I beg, I don't I don't want to do
I
this.
get it.
Do you get 5:45? My email was done. I had not clicked on send yet, right? Because I was like 5:50. I click on send. I'm like, okay. I close out the week knowing that I've done this far and
Mm-hmm.
I'm good, right? Guys, Monday morning, I received an email. Would like to call you for an interview. And that the story goes.
Wow, that's very beautiful.
It's beautiful. And you get there, I'm in the interview, and the questions they're asking me, they were things I sort of like knew because again, I was building knowledge even after law school. I was consistently building knowledge in that area. So when they ask you those questions, if it's something you know, it's evident
Mm-hmm.
that you know this thing, right? So interestingly, they needed 2 years post call,
Mm-hmm.
but I was
Yeah.
NYC associate. So I went the first stage where they asked the questions. Before I knew it again, 2 weeks after, they sent me another email. I should come back and speak with the partners.
Wow.
Yeah, I met the partners. I engaged with them. They loved me, and lo and behold, the week after, I received a call. Hello, Sam. This is we from XYZ. How much would you like to collect? I say, this is good. I was like, just give me the regular that you guys pay your. And the person was like, oh yeah, we pay them this. And as at then, it was like 100 and it was like times three.
What you used to collect?
Oh, like, it was times 2.5 or what I used to collect.
What's times 2.5? What's
So
2.5
it's
then?
250% now.
Yeah, now.
More, right? So if I was collecting, if for instance, if you're collecting like 10k,
Okay.
right, times 2.5, you're already collecting. So if I was collecting 10k, then I was collecting 35.
Oh,
Do you get?
mad.
No, sorry, 25, Jerry, not 35.
Interesting.
Right? So if I was collecting 10k, I was collecting 25k, that kind of thing,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so when she told me I said, yes.
For something that you didn't want
But
to apply
what was
for.
more interesting was what I observed is
Okay.
they brought me in as an NYC nonetheless.
Oh.
So they had to, mind you, NYC was done. Like they had closed the application for NYC. They were looking for 2 years post call,
Hmm.
right? But because when you're good, and again, I think favor plays a role really
Very
because
good.
I kind of say, oh, I kind of say, oh, I was that great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know everything really,
Yeah.
but presumably, not even presumably, I'm so sure that the grace of God and favor of God was at work
Yeah.
that they had to just carve out
Your own
that role
space.
for
Yeah,
me
that
again.
role for you.
So it's like them getting an additional person to that role, NYC field, right? And just get you in. And of course, when you get in there, one of the things I've learned is ownership. So getting in there was great. Next was taking ownership, and I'm so glad that I picked up on it. And 6 months into the role, I was already picking up client calls and conversations. Yeah, so yeah, that's how I got into it. And since then, building up on the knowledge.
That's really nice. That's nice. I'm going to take from Sam and say even though I do not see the qualification, I don't do qualify. They say that they want 8 years. I'm sorry to bust your bubble. I don't have 8 years. How old am I that I want to give you 8 years of my life? Or that I have something of, but I'm just going to apply because there's so many people that read what's it called? Applications, and they don't even have it, and they don't even, it's not like they don't have favor, but like they're just doing it by EJ, EOJ. If this one doesn't go, another one we
And
go
that will
run
go.
out. But like you have God, you can pray to God, you know that you can do the work, right? If it's something that you can do, I'm learning something for myself, right? I'm just going to say, God, I can do this. I'm applying for this. Should I apply for this? Right. I like how specifically you have heard God for yourself, like
Mm,
to um to take the course, right?
yeah,
So all the things that like during that time of taking the course, knowing what you're going to do after taking law, in other scenarios, right? How has God spoken to you specifically that you know that if God had not come through here, breeze would have blown me away, right? You know how they say that at the something something Yoruba people they've said something 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 and blown something of the idea. Now they have seen it in the outside. Yeah, that's it. Like specific things that
Hmm.
God has told you, and you're like, if I didn't hear God, I promise you, I don't know where my life would have been, or like in career, because I know that as believers we hear God. Like if you struggle to hear God, it's because of something you're doing wrong, right? As believers, I believe that we hear God and God speaks to us, right?
Yeah.
So, what are those moments, whether in career or faith, whatever?
So I'm gonna start with how, or no, let me say how, but hearing God most times comes from a place of peace. So when your heart is troubled, you may not hear clearly, and
Mm.
that's something I learned. So prior to this, getting the role and everything, there were times where I was pushing applications. I was in a frantic mood, to say the
Or
least. So I wasn't really hearing clearly, but at least I was hearing that okay, because I'm a self-development oriented person, and if you can get better at something, give yourself towards it, and actually do get better at it,
yeah.
right? That's what kind of helped me in that regard, you guys. But at the point of them making the application, yeah, I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to do this. But I would say I must have heard God, hearing God at the point of taking the courses. When you're in school, the pressure is kind of different. I mean, you're thinking about the future, but you can still hear God a bit more clearly. Like when you get out there and then your mind is thinking about, oh, what next? Ah,
My
the
you're looking at your
prospects.
yeah, yeah,
You get,
yeah.
and then sometimes you're even looking at your colleagues, some
Yeah.
are doing astronomically crazy stuff, and you're comparing yourself. Like these are things that sort of like block out,
Yeah.
right? So again, for me, it was learning that the best place to yoga was to just keep your mind at ease. So when
Mm.
that January came and he sent it to me, I was still calm about it, right? Okay, you know what? Should I really go for this? But let's go for it. See what's gonna happen. Right? And even after then, interestingly, there was a time I think I needed to get a role, and I went straight to a program, right? And the Holy Spirit told me, it was 2 weeks earlier, there's an advert to a program, and then she says, "Alpha, I'm good there." And I'm like, okay, I'll go. So I went for it, and I was talking to this guy, for a while, just trying to get in this gig and everything. It's like a project. I'll call it a project. Yeah, we're speaking. It's like let's say 6 months prior we spoke,
Mm-hmm.
so we didn't like speak again, right?
Yeah.
And then there's an event pops up, and this is saying, "Oh, I should go for it," and I'm wondering, okay, let's give it a try, right? So I go for it. The event is there. The event happens, commences, finishes. We're doing networking, right? So I'm talking to people.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what's up? How are you doing? How are you doing? How are you doing? This industry is fun, it's nice. What's up with it? Right. And they're like, oh, this is cool. Then I mentioned the fact that, oh, do you guys know XYZ in this industry? And they tell me, oh, yeah, we do. And they point me to XYZ. That's XYZ right there. In that moment,
Mm-hmm.
it just clicked that,
This is
this
why.
is why I was to coming.
Oh.
So I went to XYZ, told him about speech. Himself was shocked. I was like, we spoke? I said, yeah, we spoke. But we spoke on Google Meet for like 40 minutes. Plus, it was like, really? So come, let's have a meeting, let's have a conversation.
Wow.
So what? We had a conversation, and it goes, so how much you want us to pay for a project? And I'm like, okay, okay, bro,
Okay, we are just getting started.
okay, bro, we're getting there. Okay, I'm sorry, okay, it's like, this is what I have, this is what I want to do, this is what I want to do. So I waited, I was like, okay, I waited, it's good, it works. And the next thing is, so when do you want to start? I'm like, okay, yeah, just give me a bit of time to plan around it,
Mm-hmm.
and I will start. And that's how I got the gig.
Wow.
Right? So it's just subtle things, but more importantly, like Ecclesiastes says, the race is not to be swift, to be fast, not to be
Mm-hmm.
strong, and everything. It says, but time and chance happen to them all.
Yeah.
As a believer, you're not waiting on chance per se,
Yeah.
but when the Lord opens up doors
Yeah.
of opportunity, you are best prepared.
Prepared.
you are best prepared. And I would like to say this to encourage someone out there because it's not a one-time experience.
Yeah.
Like it's a three-time experience now. My
Mm.
current my current role, for example, right, it was a referral. Yeah,
Wow.
and I go there, we're talking, and the big boss is like, you know what, we're trying to translate the concept into actionable steps by
Mhm.
law. And into that. And right there
You
and
did
there,
it.
right there and there, I already had the idea of what to do.
You didn't even have the idea.
Right there and there,
Okay.
this is already told me.
The Holy Spirit told you everything. How to.
So I was gonna start talking, but
Yeah.
obviously this person doesn't have time for it to
Yeah.
like snap talk. So it goes like, you know what, go back, prepare the documentation and get it across to me.
Yeah. That was the testimony I think I had.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the more recent one there. And there's not recent, I was like say, yeah, but yeah. And the beautiful thing is that the recommendation. So again, yeah, I think I'll just go straight to the parable of the talents, really. When you own something,
Yeah.
it is easier for you to own something, manage it, even though it's not yours,
Yes. I multiply.
right? Multiply it, then you can manage what is yours,
Mm.
right? So if I give you something, so if you have something you're dealing, you're handling,
Yeah.
you own it, you take possession of it, you
Yes.
work on it.
Yes.
When you're not beginning to build your own thing, you can replicate it into that.
Yes.
So that's one of the guiding principles I've always had. Business, in law, when I get to work, I do my work. I own my work. Because these are things that people see. I want to mention this is like true life story. The current place I am working now. I don't know when you see this video anyways. I mean,
You're moving again.
don't start this now.
I said, are you moving again?
The
Are you moving again?
scripture says that was the spirit is like the wind.
Pastor Sam.
But for a career person, I just always mention that wherever you find yourself, make sure you
Mhm.
do so much good work,
Mm.
make so much impact that they don't forget you easily. If you are leaving, they'll say, you worked, right? And why I'm saying this is, I used to hear people talk about, oh, work hard. They'll say, no way can recommend you. I've experienced it. So can you imagine being recommended for a role, and the recommendation is coming from a place you have left?
Wow.
You get? So they believe so much in the fact that let's recommend Sam.
Yeah.
Right? And of course, you show up in those kind of instances
Mhm.
and you need to be able to back that recommendation.
Yes.
Yeah. So I showed up at the meeting, like I was saying, it's talking about something, let's convert this into an actionable progress or actionable project and see how we can back it by law. Right there and then, I had the idea. Now, how did I have the idea? I had the idea because in my previous place of work, I put in the work to learn.
Mm.
I put in the work to do so many things, right? I put in the work to understand this concept. So it's easier for me to draw from that wealth of knowledge, that pool of
Yeah.
knowledge, right? And apply it here. So I go back home, 2 weeks time, I come back. Now this is more interesting. When I was done with my research,
Yeah.
of course, put the research and I have to like document and then make it presentable.
Mhm.
And then I have to reach it again. How do we carry on?
Yeah.
And they do me to go and look for. I should go to Canva
Yeah.
and then make the presentation really catchy.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. I went to Canva. I got the presentation. I converted it into something really good.
Yeah.
And this one I always like to save. I think it's fun, sha. So of course it involves software stuff. So I went to ChatGPT and I was like,
Mhm.
oh, Alpha, give me a test sample code,
Okay.
right? So there are different languages for different projects. So
Yeah.
people that are into animation and whatnot, they have language they use. Some can use Java, some use React. So
Yeah.
for this kind of project, let's just say for example, you needed to use React,
Yeah.
right? But that was not what it was. So
Mhm.
you can imagine me going to ChatGPT and saying, you know what? Um, give me a React type source code
Okay.
for then I explain what the project is to do
Oh.
and I tap it in. And ChatGPT just gave me like this nice, plenty source
So
code thing, right?
yeah.
I just pick it and I put it in attention. Okay, if you want to, make this into a code and then put all these actions in there with the
Mm-hmm.
conditions and everything. This is a sample of what that code will look like.
Or so like they even know like, oh, you did not stop in like the
Nah,
presentation and how to make it like
because
actionable law,
the
but
tech
like
guys were coming
it's like I have the full
in. The
view.
full view,
I
like,
have the full
which is
view.
the beauty of it. So the full view came in there, and when I got the idea, I was like, ah, sorry, I can't say Marvel. Yeah, yeah. I was like, say no, not you say no, say no. You guys got the do, sha. We can't say Marvel, so yeah. But I was like, this is good. So quickly, I did that. I put in the presentation. I had the PDF.
Yeah.
I printed the PDF. Right, I'd sent copies ahead. Then I went for my meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'm meeting with the big boss. I was talking. It's like, so where's the project? So I split in
Mm-hmm.
the documents and I start my explanation. Right? So we go through I give me a walkthrough of what's gonna happen. This,
Yeah.
that, 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 that. Once I was going, the question they asked. That person, the other person, the question that person asked for the gig was, this is what you want to feel.
Uh,
But at this point in time, this guy asked
when do we start?
exactly. The next asked for, so when do we start? For me, I was like, Sam, keep your cool, keep your cool. Calm. Keep your cool, bro.
Steez.
Steez. Let the steez, please. Like, I was like, you have to give me some time to think about this, if I want to, okay. So think about it and let me know. Go and discuss with my HR guy. You guys agree on salaries. It's amazing. It's good. Why am I saying this? Right? It's as you grow,
Yeah.
and I say all of this, and it's not me putting pride or putting reliance
Yeah.
on my skills, on my capabilities. There are
Yeah.
people that are way smarter
Yeah.
than this, but it's that trust in God
Mm-hmm.
to guide you. Very key. It's
Absolutely.
very, very key.
Absolutely.
Right. So yeah, and that's it. That's how I do my law thing and do every other thing I enjoy.
Sam do business.
Oh
Just in
yeah,
case you didn't know. Apparently, I think that's how I knew him. But then I found out, oh, Sam also is a lawyer,
yeah.
and we'll go into the business and then come back. Just a little bit. We are coming back. Just hold it there, right? Hold it there. It's nice that like you listen to God, but I love that you listen to God, right? People say that, oh, I speak to God and he doesn't speak back, or I wanted to start something and it didn't go that way. I feel like God did not want me to start. I feel like that's not what God has called me to. I feel like people just say a lot of things, right? And I know that you started a business and now you're taking a break. How did you get into the business and how did you get to the place where you had to take a break?
Hmm. Yeah. So for the business part of it, see, when you're in university and you need money, money is important too.
Very important.
And one thing I've learned is that people don't just give you money.
Absolutely.
They need something in exchange. So
Yeah.
value has to move.
Yeah.
Let's give you money, right? And when I was done my secondary school, I dabbled into skill acquisition. Went into shoemaking.
What do you know dabble into, Sam? Let's continue.
Right. So I was in there and I learned shoemaking, and I remember making some of the first shoes I made were hand sewn. Yeah. But more interesting was the guys I learned from, and these were guys that were making very great, beautiful shoes,
Yeah.
and they had something that just never left me, which was integrity and excellence.
Mm.
So they tell you to deliver a project on the 17th of February. 17th of February, you're receiving a call from a delivery guy. Now, excellence. If you get the project, if you get the stuff on the 1st of February,
Mm-hmm.
and you see that the finishing is not so complete,
Mm-hmm.
call them. They will tell you that okay, no worry, they'll pick it up, right? Go back, work on it, yeah, and get it across to you. It's important.
Yeah.
So it shows what a level of, at least for the customer, it shows that one, you care.
Yes.
It's not just about collecting money.
Mm-hmm.
Like just no, calm down. You care, right? Your product is good. Essentially, all of this shows that you care for the value your customer is exchanging. You care for
Yes.
the money they're exchanging for that value, right? And going into it, I was like, okay, this is fine. So of course, I started with making money concept,
Mm-hmm.
but interestingly, as I began to pray more about it, there was also the humanitarian part to it, which is quite interesting. I've not had to share that with a lot of people because I still need to be able to shape it up. But one thing I just needed to do was I needed to build a household name. People needed to know that okay, this guy makes shoes.
Mm-hmm.
So if you say that you want to make shoes and be like, oh, make a shoe, and then from the process of the shoe, we'll give what school bags to 20 kids.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say, for example, I get to a point where I'm making shoes for like 150K, right? Number one, nobody's going to 250K to you if they
Yes.
don't know your brand.
Yes.
And your brand also matters. If they can trust it, they won't deal with you.
Mm-hmm.
So the business, we started just off as I need to just make money, Gary. They started to tell me that see, this can go way beyond just money.
Yeah.
It can be humanitarian.
Yeah.
Yeah. However, you need to build a brand that works. So I continued with that and I made sure that while I was building the brand, I never compromised on quality, I never compromised on integrity. If I sometimes when I get products and I see that this is not so good, I'll just call the client that see, no vex, don't be angry. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But we might need to push a deadline a bit. And I'm not calling them on the day of the deadline. So for example, people that have complaints about shoemaker tailors, for example,
Mm-hmm.
permit me to use the word tailors. I know some of you guys call yourself fashion designers, so it's fine.
You're not on that table.
You're not that
You're not
table.
really not on that
But
table.
if you are there, just collect it with love.
Yes.
Right? Things happen.
Yeah.
Project timeline will not go as planned.
Mm-hmm.
But you see, communication is what makes even the client that has not received their clothes 10 days after the agreed timeline not
Mm-hmm.
be angry. Why? Because 2 days prior, that is what I do. 2 days prior, we call you. If anything at all happens, we'll call you and be like, this may not work.
Yeah.
Sometimes, so maybe 4 days prior, this may not work. XYZ has happened. But the problem with other people is that they wait to the deadline. So 2 days to the deadline, you don't call me. 1 day to the deadline, you don't call me. Deadline day,
You're
you call
calling
me
me.
at 10 a.m. and say, your shoe is not. Stop playing, right? That is rough play. So you
Yes.
get, and that's
Yes.
the thing. So being in the business of the shoe just sort of like help me understand these things. Communication is key. Quality. Do not reduce your quality for anyone.
Absolutely.
Right? Maintain the
Absolutely.
standard of quality. Those that appreciate it will come.
Absolutely.
In a way, this sort of like also impacted my law practice.
Yeah.
So even when people are asking, like, okay, can you help us to maintain the topmost quality,
Yeah.
right? It's key. So that's how I went into it, though. And at some point, I had to then build a structure because I know you asked about how I'm no longer in the business.
Yeah.
So obviously, at some point, I had to build a structure. In fact, when I was in law school, I was making shoes, and I was not saying the client or the shoes,
Yeah.
but the client liked the shoes.
Wow.
So I had to build a structure around that. Yeah. And it was great to see. But of course I had to stop because certain factors beyond my control
Nigerian.
happened. And which for some of it I'm really happy. If your shoemakers are jackpine, for
It's
example,
a good thing,
it's a
no?
good thing. That is good quality now. There's a moving. It's good. Right? And this is just one of those instances. And it was even beyond that because obviously you can find like you can have like a business continuity plan, like let's even get the quality of guys that can
Yeah.
replicate this, and I try, but I'm also in a place where my focus sort of like shifting to things that are a bit much more important, right? So I was just speaking to God one day and it's like, see, I may need to put a pause on the business, not because it's bad, and Even frankly, at this point, if I'm going to like stop entirely, I actually don't mind, right?
Mhm.
But I don't think it's going to stop entirely, right? So I think I've been able to build it to a point where people actually like trust it. So if I tell people that okay, we're pivoting the shoe business now to an humanitarian thing,
Mm,
I know I have a handful of people that I can start up that project with.
mm,
So I would say for phase one, you know, successful,
yeah,
people know the brand, and then as they can associate it with the kind of person Samuel is,
I
you
tell
know,
you.
with regards to integrity, excellence, and quality. Then for the next phase, we'll see how the Holy Spirit takes up, you know, from it in that regard. But for me, I really love the fact that I was able to, you know, walk through that phase and bring it to where it is now. Oh,
Yeah.
and fun fact, people still call me, they're like, Alpha, I used to
Em?
make issues. I'm like, for now, no, let's hold, right? Because the race is very interesting. You might find a way to pivot this into
Yeah.
something more, something better. You get,
You
so
know,
yeah.
like whenever I see people wear your brand or your shoe, I'm just like, I didn't buy the dip. I didn't buy the dip.
Anybody did, bro?
Like, I mean, I can just, can I
No,
just borrow or can I just take?
okay.
But I'm trusting that you'll come back bigger and better. It's
Yeah.
just that like I did not buy the dip. That's all. When you're like
Uh,
the first, the founders, or like when people start things and you're part of people that bought it, you're like awala kokora. Like we're
mm-hmm.
the first people.
Yeah.
You're not looking at the other quality, like is it really quality? But we
Mm.
know the person, so we know that it's same quality, right?
Ah,
It's the same
okay.
excellence, it's the same product. Like if not, I might even be arguing that my own can be better right now. I can't argue, right? And you said something very beautiful about the feet of those that wear your shoes are beautiful, or those that carry the gospel and all of those things.
Yeah.
Yeah, you said it, and I'm just like,
One of those reasons.
I need to buy so that my feet can be more beautiful. If you don't know, it's beautiful already, but like more
It was
beautiful.
one of those reasons, and you know the Holy Spirit is very interesting. Is a very wonderful person,
Yeah, yes.
right? And yeah, like rightfully mentioned. And for me, when it came to me, I was like, this is beautiful, really. You know, like Scripture says, blessed are those that their faith, the faith of those that carry the gospel. It's beautiful and stuff. So for me, I was like, you know what? Maybe at some point we'll just be giving our shoes out to people that push the gospel, because I needed. I've always wanted to have a key relationship with the business and the gospel
Yeah.
at every point in time. It was beyond money. So mind you, it started off as I need to make money.
Yeah.
See man for don't die for this university. Let me go God I beg me. And then God begins to show you that say there's
Yeah.
much more, right?
Yes.
There's much. Just stick with the integrity, stick with the quality. There's much more. And then when we decide to pivot, we're pivoting, right? But yeah, that was really one of those things that pushed me or that sustained me in the journey for it. But right now we could just again we could. I'm not saying we are, but we could just be pushing out shoes to
Just in case. Just
to
give me inner information.
ministers. The maybe I minister of the gospel
I'm a
now.
minister of the gospel. I'm a minister
So
of
like
the
a
minister.
pastor, or like a
Ah,
pastor, like
I'm a cell leader,
a cell leader.
assistant.
Like, it's beyond those introduced, right? That's
Can
the
I go
plan.
outside? I'm outside TGC right now.
Right, so choir ministers, the gospel singers, gospel artists, geos, and all of that.
It's fine.
So they
It's
can wear
fine.
your shoes and just look what they need to do. Right?
Sam is not looking for people of my own caliber, so
No,
I
you're a
have to
minister.
move on.
You're a minister of the gospel now, right?
Yes,
It's good. So yeah,
good,
yeah, it's
good.
good. It's good.
Yeah.
It's
Anyway,
great.
I've learned that allow God change your view on things,
Oh
right?
yeah,
Allow God
yeah.
change your view on things.
Very important.
And something very important about taking a break or taking a step back is that it is needed. You don't entirely taking a step back doesn't mean that like, oh, you're no longer doing this, or this is not how you ever say that or fair, be something like it's not your head that is
No,
rejecting it,
yeah.
right? It's always good to take a step back and strategize, look at things from a wider, bigger view, look at things from a different angle. right? I think a book that I read that changed my view was about relationship, vertical, horizontal. That's one of the things that stood out to me. But like the thing that I still held was um that if you were driving a car and the car got stuck in a ditch, you would not go forward, you move backward because the car cannot move forward. It can only move backward. And in my head, I'm like, yeah, it makes sense. I can't drive, but it makes sense. I can't
Yeah,
drive,
it
but
does.
it makes sense, right? So if you're driving a car and it gets stuck and you want to move back, why can't you move back in other aspects of your life? Like you think that you cannot make headway here, just move back a bit, right? Find another way to go around it. You can always move things around, right? And you don't have to be stuck in that position. So if you think that something is really not going the way you wanted it, see, I'm going to be saying Happy New Year every time that I start this podcast because some people think that this is a
Yeah.
demo, this is a trial, right? For January. They are starting the real thing in February, in March, right?
Mm.
And they're just like everybody run your race. So if you started the race and you think that you did not plan well, or your plan might not be going as well as it should because Nigeria, or you did not plan well, as I've said, just take a step back, right? Take a pause, do other things, right? And come back to it.
Yeah.
Oh, you can always come back. Nobody's going to beat you. That's one thing I found out as an adult. Now I'm asking Sam, Alpha, I didn't buy deep. When I didn't come back, I'm not beating him. I'm just asking him.
Yeah.
Nothing, right? So yeah, that's one thing I've learned. Thank you so much, Sam.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Um, you spoke about values, and I want to ask you, aside from excellence and quality and um, one other thing you said, what,
Integrity.
integrity, right? is is that, are there other values that you've held on to when like talking to your, especially as a believer, right? Entering what's it called, as a lawyer, entering an industry as a lawyer and having the knowledge of like other tech guys and all of those things, are they qualities that you looked out for and say, oh, I cannot release my quality because I am this kind of person, or I cannot do this because I am this kind of person?
Integrity comes into play. So, I mean, the way the profession works, there's a standard of ethics you have to maintain, right? And it's never a Nigerian thing, not about the world. Some people just fall short of those ethics anyway,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
But as a believer, there's a standard of ethics, standard of composure. There's kind of deals that you shouldn't find yourself in, really. There's no amount of money in this world. So, scripture is clear. What does it profit a man to gain the world
Until
but
it,
lose his soul,
yeah,
right? Doesn't make any sense. So there's some kind of deals that literally, as a believer, wherever industry you find yourself, don't get into it. It's not worth it, right? And for me, as a lawyer, what sort of drives me, interestingly, it's not the money. You can do defense as a lawyer,
yeah,
right? And you can conduct defense as a lawyer. It's not the money for me. Money is important. Though.
absolutely.
I have a bill of charges. So in case, just so you know, I'll bill you. Money
So
is
please,
important. Yeah, it's good. When you value the work, you appreciate it more. That's good. Yeah, but it's about the principles I hold on to most. So people tell you that, oh, we want to do one deal, we want to do this one, help us cut this. Like, gee, nah. And it's also good. This advice is not for everyone, but if you have a niche area that you're really good at, focus on it. So sort of like reduces the kind of people that reach out to you and reach
absolutely.
out to. So the thing with us is that we have broad what's it called, scale of knowledge that we're to work with,
Hmm.
but there are certain things that we sort of prioritize. So even
Absolutely.
though I'm a tech lawyer, doesn't mean I don't understand things with respect to property or tenancy and stuff like that. I still do, but I just give more time, to
Yeah,
tech, to IP, to data, to privacy, and just be honest, really. Um, Honesty is very important, even as a lawyer, because you might fall into that trap of saying, when they say, Alpha, can you do something? So it's a different thing when you have done it before or you have an idea about to do it that you won't bungle it. That when you say bring it, we'll do it, and then you don't get it done.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's not cool. That's what integrity comes in.
Mm-hmm.
Like, can you do this or not? If you can't, just be honest. How long would this take? Communicate to your clients. It take us 4 days, a week. Why? Because I'm not necessarily in control of the outcome. Communicate to them. That for you to overpromise and say, bring it, to take us 2 days.
Yeah.
That's bad. Unnecessary. Right? But more importantly, don't let your life be governed by money alone.
Yeah.
It's a shitty way to live.
What are the mistakes that you've seen that people make in your profession and you see that like other people make? Like, I don't want to call us just lawyers and the people that are bringing these things. I know that there are some people that sign documents, for example, without reading through, and then they come back and say, "Oh, yada yada yada." I understand it. I have been there. I repent. That's why I'm bringing Sam, right? To It's going to cost you less, I promise you, to get a lawyer to help you read something over than when people cheat you. Because I promise you, some people are only out for themselves. And if they are crushing people's heads just to get to where they want to get to, they don't care.
Okay.
Right? So it's going to get you less to tell somebody. If you have a friend that is a lawyer, good for me and good for you. I do. That's what I'm saying, good for me, right? But telling somebody to look over a document, especially if they are professionals, to just say, are there any gray areas, black areas? Because it's not gray at this point. They want to bury you, right? They want to bury you. Because the stories you'll be hearing these days are wild. I promise you. So to avoid it, I know. I'm just saying signing some documents are one of the mistakes that I have made and some people have made. What are the mistakes that you see people make that they can stop doing? And what are also the mistakes that you think that people should avoid in lawyers?
So, what I think people need to understand is, for every profession, there are those that are there because they're passionate about it, because they have interest about it,
Mm-hmm.
right? So most times, and I think I would direct this to creatives more. One of the reasons why I became more focused to creatives because I understood or I understand the effort it takes
Yeah.
to build something. I was on a podcast some time ago, and same question came up. And being honest, right? I'm someone that grew up watching Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, you know, all these fantasy world building laws,
Mm-hmm.
right? Reading books by Dan Brown, and then having to now try writing a story. Most of the stories I've written are not up to like 30 pages, but I know I know how much time that took me to write. Then imagine someone that, so you can imagine someone like Gerald Tolkien writing Lord of the Rings. He literally spent 12 years on that project, had to go develop a language, build the world around. So I come from a place where I understand that, see, as a creative or as a lawyer who understands the creative aspect, I should be able to protect creative.
Yeah.
So that when I tell you that let me read your agreement, not because I want to chop your money, right? It's because I want to make sure that you understand what you're getting into.
Mm-hmm.
You understand the gray areas they're getting into. Right? So I want to make sure that, when I look at it, I'm looking at this from the point of view of I don't work. Right? I need to make sure that this is protecting my IP and my interest and whatnot. And then if there are gray areas, I will explain them to you so that you would know what to avoid, what to do, what to communicate to the receiving third party.
Yeah.
So that sometimes clients enter into agreement and the third party is giving is as lumped on them unreasonable degree of expectations and obligations.
Mm-hmm.
That we expect you to do this, we expect you to do that. When I see it, I'm like, can you do this? They know. Can you do that? No. You get like strike it out, create a balance
Yeah.
around this. And so it's important to have a lawyer. Lawyers are not out to eat your money.
Some
And
lawyers.
besides, some lawyers really, some lawyer, and that's why I said, a lawyer with integrity.
Yeah.
Let's know what it is as it is, right? People value integrity a lot. Even the
Yes.
clients, once they know
Yes.
that they can meet you and get it done. I was on the there was one of my friends, well, someone I met anyways, right? Let's work on one or two things and stuff. They send an agreement over and I work on it. In fact, those ones I love them because I think they understand value a lot. So once I send the agreement to them, they don't waste time. They just do what they need to do. Right. But each time when we're talking, I put my ear down to understand what they really need.
Mm-hmm.
What exactly does the company need? What exactly is taking them? So there are sometimes this guy will even just call me and will just talk about his business.
Mm.
Right? Okay, and this is what I'm trying to do, this is what I'm trying to achieve, this is what I'm trying to do. I'm like, this is interesting. Should we try this one? Should we try that? Just show. But these things cannot come up if you are not passionate. So again, the lawyers are not out to eat your money. Lawyers are actually, more often than not, passionate about the areas they are passionate about.
Mm-hmm.
So you can have lawyers that are really passionate about property law and they can sit down with you for 2 hours, you get, and just talking and just trying to.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing too for those in criminal litigation. So lawyers are naturally passionate about what they do, right?
Okay.
And again, they're not out to get money, they just have to protect you. Really. So please, you know, it's better for you to pay them. Sorry, better for you to pay us, so that we can protect you,
Yeah.
than for it to happen and then you have to now raise money to pay us so that we can fight for you.
All right.
Right? So it's easier. It's better to So when people talks about who wants to build a house
Mm-hmm.
and doesn't count the cost, sometimes having your lawyer review your documents is you counting the cost. So you will know, even though I'm paying in XYZ amount, it's better for me to know that okay, these are the gray areas I'm expecting. These are the obligations they want me to do. They want to do this or not. This is the cost of what it might be to my business. You need your lawyers to help you count those costs, right? And the things you look out for in a lawyer, I don't speak about other lawyers because
Mm-hmm.
it's also a professional we respect each other a lot, right? But I think the will I say demeanor. So I always like when people can get a lawyer that is um what's it called now? Presentable, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a presumption of knowledge,
Or
right? And learn someone to get a lawyer as someone that you can walk into the government office and present especially as a lawyer. You get what I mean? Like
absolutely.
so your lawyer should be able to like present yourself, talk well, dress well, speak well. These are basic things really. And just a lot of good. I've been in offices and people like, oh this is my lawyer. I mean say I know say I don't do ready. You get so I'm going for meeting and I'm ready. I dress the best way. I say, oh, this is my lawyer. And they'll be like, you now hear stuff like, oh, no wonder. They're good. No wonder. I say, no wonder. But at the same time, too, get a lawyer that understands your business. I was on a call with a guy that wanted to do something on telecommunications, right? I was so for like 2 hours. I know what said at the end of the call. It was like, says thank you because you understand the
Mm.
business. You understand the tech behind it. So you allows you to understand what you're doing,
Mm.
right? And that understanding is not because you just put them at no, it's because of the interest. So if the lad doesn't have interest in your business, what is gonna happen? And that's basically about tech at least. So for tech, you have different things.
Yeah.
Software as a service is there. They'll tell you, oh, this. So again, you read up on these things. There's a book I used to read up on. It's called Technology Contracts, like 500 pages. It's PDF. And then I read it, try to see, okay, this is good, this is good. Because the day will come when someone come and meet you and be like, we're trying to do cloud service in contract, right? And you're like, oh, okay, cloud computing, cloud service. what structure, secret structure do you want to use, what protocol do you want to use, what data protection measures do you want to
Yeah.
use. And I'm like, so you have to get to ask them, where is your infrastructure? Is it here? Nigeria doesn't have infrastructure anyway, so just an example. Or which
Just
web service you want to use. So when you begin to sell this, they'll be like, you
you know
understand.
what you're
But
doing.
they understand because they are passionate about it
Yeah.
and they've read up about it. Right? So even now, what I like tech is like I said, is broad.
Mm-hmm.
I do projects with guys that are doing VR, virtual reality.
Wow.
Yeah, it's cool, it's fun. Like AI, augmented reality. These things are cool. Yeah, but I have to sit down
And
and read,
read.
right? Read about implications of things, read about the kind of contracts there would be. I have an idea of okay, yes, IP, software, the designs in the project, but essentially,
Mm-hmm.
have a lawyer that understands what this is. So you're good. So when the guy told me that he has spoken to that, I'm the one that gets his, I understand his business and
Mm-hmm.
that. I felt
Very
proud.
proud.
I felt proud. I'm just shy. And then I was just replying that I'm just trying my best. Yeah. Do you
Oh my
get?
god.
But yeah, and it's really never stops there.
Yeah.
You keep at it, keep at it. And if there's one thing I would just tell this one to other to lawyers is there's a quote by Zig Ziglar. I think it's Zig Ziglar. I'm not sure. But there's this book I was reading, this short book on indispensable qualities of a leader. I think seven indispensable qualities of a leader, something like that. And one of the qualities there was being a whirlwind when you are unpredictable.
Oh
So you can do different things.
yeah.
So don't limit yourself to just one practice area. Try your hand in different things. For example, for me now, I've done litigation those very, very short time, but I've done venture capital. I've done what's it called? Private advisory. I've done IP advisory. I've done startup advisory. I've done fundraising advisory. You get? I've
Mm-hmm.
done real estate. So, all of these things. I've done what's it called? The one for movies too. Yeah, movies. All I call it now. So when you're trying to raise funds to like
Okay.
produce a movie
Oh
and then convert it to equity and stuff like that's very very interesting stuff. I've been there, done that, and I'm not stopping, right? Because there's still a whole lot
to
to
cover.
cover. I mean, I'll dabble into AR, VR, AI. So again, just do it. Tell me when you enjoy it, when you have interest in it. Just do it.
I think that like in the better part of it, or like the most part of it is that they know that you have values and you owe them, right? But like how do they also know that these values don't just come because you have set them in place, but because like you know how some people be like, "S you lele you, Emma Shekini," right? Like this person is a child of God, so it's like, do you think that there's any scenario or like there been any play or how do I put it, like anywhere where they said that Sam is going to get it done because I know him, right? Because he's this person, like if he will get it done, like oh Omojesu Lele or something like that. Has it
Hmm.
ever occurred in any place?
Where there's that assurance
Yeah,
as your character,
yeah.
right? For you to get something done. I mean, I think I have on like two occasions. Can't remember.
Mhm.
But most times when I ask my superiors, they just always say that I'm doing great stuff, good work, great stuff, good work, right? And the shocking, not even shocking, but I think the reaction of it was when they had to tell me directly at some point that I did a wonderful job, like
Wow.
doing a great job. And when you then know is another way for you to know
Hmm.
is they may not tell you directly, but they begin to give you more responsibilities.
Ah,
Then you know that there's something there, right? When people begin to give responsibilities, then you'll be able to create a level of trust. Right. The other part was where I had to. So I've been doing this work for I've been for a while, and interestingly, like let's say 3 months in,
hmm,
one of our subsidiaries, like a tech company, they needed an operations lead,
yeah.
right? And I received a call, and someone is telling me, I received a call, and goes along the lines of, "Oh, I've seen the work you do. When you see you want to do something, you do something."
Mm.
that would you come on board to be an operations lead for this company, for this subsidiary of ours.
Mm.
So I'm working with a group company now,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and they'll have different subsidiaries anyways. And that was one moment I thought, this is people do see what you're doing anyways,
Yes.
right? Like this is good stuff. So when they told me that, of course, I took a while, thought through it,
Mm-hmm.
and I asked myself, do I want to do this? I want to try this. I feel like I'll fail anyway. I know I'm not going to fail. Like
Absolutely.
obviously, it's just going to require more time and more
Yeah.
work, right? And more learning
Mm-hmm.
to get. But yeah, you can do it. So my go-to is I'm operations lead in that regard.
Thank you. We don't know where they might see you next, but we give glory to God. We give glory to God for that.
Yeah,
We give
so,
glory to God for that.
yeah, we do.
Um, yeah. Aside from not signing documents, what exactly should people also look at that might put them in trouble? In work, I mean, as a creative, if you're into writing and all of those things, protect your work. What are the measures they take? I'm just saying as creative, but like there are other things that people do that get them in trouble and all of those things. But what are those things? People are looking for a job. People are straight out of school right now, graduates that are like, my life must change. I must take this step. I must take this step.
Yeah.
Yada yada yada. Like looking for bigger opportunities, better opportunities. But as big as the opportunity is, that's how big the problem also that comes with it is. And I want to avoid it, right?
I'm trying to see how to answer that question because different things are popping in my head right now. I'm looking at the kind of company you want to join and see if the culture fit is something you like. I'm also looking at the fact where in instances of recruitment, they will tell designers to send designs up front and
Mm,
they'll be like, oh, come and work on the filters. But I'll touch on the first one
mm-hmm,
and go to the second one. See, if you're ever in a situation where, as a creative, and you're trying to look at a job and you have a call for project work, advisably, I think you should send the project work that you can do without. So, because it is, even though it is wrong for people to like use your work, yeah, and translate it to theirs. So, an example is maybe I don't call the company's name because it might be wrong and
mm-hmm.
I don't try to shade anybody. So, Samuel Incorporation,
Good.
we want to hire a software developer, and then we now throw out some codes out there and tell you to just do
Format
what you can
something.
on it
Yeah.
and get back to us and that, right? Most often than not, with these companies is that code I've shared with you
Mm-hmm.
is an underlying problem
Mm.
with our system.
Oh, that's what they do most of the
And
time.
we're trying to test if this pool of guys can solve it. That's for software. For design, they'll tell you, oh, someone in the commission will tell you, oh, let's work on, give us a sample design on XYZ on this project, on project A, project B. You have a pool of 1,000 people sending their designs.
Mm-hmm.
Then the company then goes, okay, this is nice. The one by 924 and 927. Let's use that one. And they don't get back to you guys. So
Yeah.
if you're ever in the category of the designers that want to
Mm-hmm.
send sample work,
Mm-hmm.
I think you send a sample work that again, although it's wrong because they shouldn't use your sample work. But what happens is that most times, or often than not,
Mm-hmm.
when you reach the terms of the employment or the recruitment process, they will
Mm.
tell you that whatever it is you share with us, we're going to use, right?
But should you allow that?
You shouldn't. But because of the imbalance of power, most
Mm.
people want to just send their stuff and send it out. So again, if you do not mind them using your work, then just send something that you're fine with them not using. Because the catch, most often than not, could always be in that recruitment term. However, if it's not stated there, then that could be the point where you can actually write back to them and tell them to take down your work. Ideally, no one should use the work that you've not licensed for them to use. But what you see is that on the flip side, they'll have some terms that tell you that, oh, you've agreed that for every project you send to us, we're going to be able to use it freely, blah, 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 even if it's test sample, blah, 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 and all of that. Now, well, let's say you want to get your lawyers to check every terms of recruitment exercise. I mean, you could,
I mean,
right?
if you read through it
You
and you
could.
see those things, there are things that you
Yeah.
just look and be like, I don't think,
I don't think I'll do
yeah, I
this.
want to do
But
this.
another thing is that if it's there, then they're telling you, they're letting you know essentially that if you share with us, we'll move on with your design
No,
and we'll
that's
pay you.
fair. That's not
But
fair.
sometimes they don't share it with you, right? If they don't share with you and then they move on with the design, you can then write to them. But like you said, without necessarily signing the contract, right? The practical thing I can tell you to do is sign the work where you do not mind them using.
Um,
Even though it's too wrong, because I'm asking myself, if you are applying to like 15 companies and they're all asking for sample projects, and your work is so great, all 15 of them use it. Okay, if I were you, I'll charge all 15 of them, sure. Do you get? But the implication of all of that too, something for you to look out for, right? So don't overshare. That's just the point.
yeah. I think
Don't
that people are
overshare.
also scared because the system is kind of shady. Like something that happened early,
So you can send
like
an email to confirm. Will this work be used once you know, once this application process is over, blah blah blah. Let them reply to you. So these are pointers that you can tell. If
oh,
the company is not giving you an outright no,
then there's something shady.
because
Absolutely.
they won't tell you no because they know that if they put no and eventually they use it, it's evidential.
I feel like we should be in a world where you can actually sue people. Like,
Oh, you can.
like you can, and you know that this justice, Oma justice,
Oh yeah, you
you know,
can.
some people be moving crazy,
You can.
and you're like, can you just log this person?
Yeah,
Okay,
you
sorry, I'm sorry.
yeah you can actually. You can. But I'm just looking at the
It's
point of
more,
view of the expense and everything. But yeah,
that's
you
what
can.
people think about. Like when you
You
think
can.
about somebody that went back on their word, you're just like, can this person just taste
A bit of that.
a bit of
Yeah,
that?
you can. It's available.
But by the time when you look at it, it's like the financial expenses on you. Does it always have to be like that? If
Mm,
we're in a normal world, I'm not just saying Nigeria, right? But like if we're in a world that you just say, oh, this person did this person did this, and you have like a public servant, public
service.
service or a public defender, as they
Mm-hmm.
call it, taking your case
Yeah, for public defender, you have to pay.
a
And
lot.
sometimes you don't have to pay.
You
You
don't
don't
have to
pay.
pay.
Yeah, it's free.
It's
And sometimes lawyers also do what we call pro bono services. We
yeah.
offer pro bono services. So it's possible that you can have a lawyer or a law firm that's going to take that up for you for free.
That's if people want to take criminal services that like um things that they know that really huge,
Something that will
huge,
put them in the news.
huge.
But not all the time, though.
Really.
Not all the time. Not all the time. So you can actually do pro bono services, and stuff
So you
like that.
can write to companies and tell them this is this. I feel like this person cheated me, and maybe this is what I have to offer, or this is not what I don't have anything to offer.
Mm.
Can you take this on as yada yada yada?
That's a good way. At least you're not coming in from an entitled position,
Oh, okay.
which is good. Right, so the law firm may look at something like, okay, maybe send one of their junior reps,
Oh,
right, to handle it for you,
things have happened like that you've heard of, or that
which
you've
is
been in a
good.
situation.
A situation like yeah, a situation like that, but it was not me directly that was sent anyway. But yeah, someone just made a wrote some lawyers and they were like, okay, yeah, that's
Because
fine, we can do this.
people think about the financial cost. Nigerians, at least to say, think about the financial cost more than
The remedy itself,
yeah. So it's like let's just forget about it. And in the kind of community that we are in, it's like if the person has apologized, let's just forgive him. But it doesn't
mm,
work like that because the person is going ahead to hurt
other
other
people,
people.
yeah,
Right? I'm just like, can this maybe this is going to like wake the person up and say, oh, this is a wake up for you to change, for you to do something,
yeah,
right? So like, yeah. Anyway, I've done my part to bring a lawyer to come and help you. Know that. Don't sign that document until you're sure that you know what is written on it, right? You know very well that whatever you're going to sign doesn't alter your world, doesn't stop your life in 5 years or 10 years, or even now. Because I've read stories of people that because of a bad decision that they've made or a terrible thing that they signed, now they have to bear the consequences of their very good action. not bad. I promise you. It's just like I'm looking for a job and I had to sign something that gave away all the rights, or
Right.
the company had very things that you will not believe that a company should have, like how you be deducting my money, but I signed to it because
Mm-hmm.
I didn't read it and I just wanted work, right? And how you be taking just some rights, just some things that you're. I feel like in Nigeria, some companies don't give you a lot of benefits, but by the time you enter and you sign the document that you did not know that you were entitled to some things, and then they now start removing the things that they're already offering you. Sorry, sorry. If you've had any terrible experience with people, apologize on their behalf, forgive them. Yeah, let love reign. Find the most of love. Yeah.
And you may still want to sue them though.
Sam is here. He's ready for that. So yeah, thank you so much,
You're
Sam.
welcome.
Thank you for coming, for honoring us, for sharing, plenty dimensions of you.
Thank you for
Yes, with
having me.
us. Thank you so much. So if you've not liked at this point, please do
Yeah, please do.
subscribe, leave a comment,
And
say
share.
share. Why are you not sharing? Share the
Share.
gospel. Yeah. So thank you for staying to this. See you when we see you, right?
Thank you guys.